Hey guys, it's Christina Marie, and today I'm going to talk about jealousy and how to deal with it. Not jealousy in relationships, but jealousy of your friends, people that you come across, or loose connections. So how to turn jealousy from a negative thing to a positive thing. I'm going to share 6 tips that have personally helped me deal with jealousy, because I'll tell you, recently I've been really jealous of mid-25-year-olds who have like the perfect job, the perfect boyfriend or husband, or I guess wife, and a great house and a great job, and they just seem to have everything. And I'm like, I'm 10 years older than you, and I wish I had what you had. So anyway, I'll go through 6 tips to hopefully help you get over that jealousy. So the first thing that I recommend is turning that jealousy into a motivator. So for me personally, a lot of my friends recently got promoted to directors, and I know they're making $50,000 more than me a year, and I'm really, really jealous of them. So how can you turn something like this into a motivator? Well, I'm like, okay, I want the better job. What can I do? I could start applying to jobs, but really I should do informational interviews with people, learn about how they got that job, and start taking the steps that they take. Or could I start getting certifications in something? Just really start to think what you can do. Another example is, let's say you have a friend that's super fit and just looks amazing. Well, ask them, what do you do? Maybe they eat really healthy. Maybe there's a specific exercise regimen that they do that you can start doing. Another example is, I have a friend that always looks gorgeous. Like, she always looks so pretty. I'm like, I want to look like her. So use it as a motivator. I asked her, what do you do? And she's like, well, I actually don't spend a lot of money on clothes, Christina. I go to TJ Maxx. And I don't spend a lot of money on makeup. I just buy this makeup online from Amazon, and I make sure I always look presentable. And she also shops at Target. So like, use this jealousy to figure out what you can do, what changes you can do to get closer towards your goal. Use it as a motivator. So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2 is just be happy, not just, but be happy with what you have and be grateful, because those people that might have that awesome job might have a crappy life at home. So write down what you do have. So an example, I have a friend with rich parents, and they just give her like everything, hand out, pay for her groceries. And I get jealous of that. I'm like, okay, but I should be really, really thankful that my mom helped me with, this down payment on a mortgage when I was younger. Or I should be really helpful that I have loving parents, or that I have awesome siblings. When I get jealous of people that have the big fat engagement ring from their fiance, I'm like, you know what? I really love my cheap $20 ring from TJ Maxx. I think this is gorgeous. I love it. Another example is, oh, I wish I had that expensive house in that nice neighborhood. And I'm like, but where I live is awfully damn nice, and a big house would be more cleaning to do. My electricity bill would be a lot more expensive, and I kind of like my cozy little condo. So write down what you do have. Another example is like, oh, my friends have that big fancy job, and I'm like, but I really like my coworkers and my manager, and I'm never stressed out. So second thing to not be so jealous of others is write down what you do have, and don't just think it. Like, write it down with your piece of paper, with a pencil. Write down what you are grateful for. Studies show that it makes you happier. So every single night before I go to bed, I actually think of 3 things. This time I don't write it, but I think of 3 things that I'm really grateful for. Like, I'm grateful that it was sunny today. I'm grateful that I have a dog, and I'm grateful that I could go on a walk with a friend. So that's tip number 2. Tip number 3 for dealing with jealousy is think about what you can control, because guess what? You might not be able to control that you don't have the expensive house, but maybe you can make your apartment really, really nice. Maybe you can get some really cute Christmas twinkle lights and hang them up in your apartment. Or you can get a really cute plant. Or you can buy a cheap rug and lay it on your floor and make your space really nice. So think about what you can control and can change to make whatever it is that you want. Like, just be happier with where you are. Another example is like, I want to have like a big fancy mini SUV Lexus. I can't afford it. So, but what could I do instead? Well, I could clean my current car and make it really, really nice. Like, I could clean it myself and give it like a fresh wash and squeaky clean, and then it will look brand new. Or maybe I can't afford that Lexus SUV, but I could technically sell my sedan and buy a used car that would still give me the SUV that I want, because I would like a bigger car. So like, think about like, what are the other alternatives? Another example is, oh, I really want to have that girl's fancy expensive clothes, but guess what? I can't spend $200 on clothes right now. But what I can do is go to lots of thrift stores and used clothing stores and dig through the racks, and sometimes I find something really nice, or find it on eBay for really cheap. So think about what you can control. For me, a lot of this jealousy is like money related things. So think about like what you can do instead to get kind of close to what you want. Okay, the fourth tip to deal with jealousy is remember reality. So what you see on Facebook or Instagram isn't the everyday life of people. For example, me, my Facebook page is all pictures of me dancing or on cruises with my mom. Honestly, I haven't gone dancing in probably like 6 months, and I go on cruises with my mom twice a year. So it's not necessarily reality. The biggest example that I love from a friend is, she's like, my sister's gorgeous. Her Christmas photos with her and her husband and her 2 kids are beautiful. They're stunning. What you don't know is that right before that photo was taken, her 2 kids were crying. Her husband said, oh no, sorry, I'm not gonna watch the kids for you this weekend so you can go out with your friends. And like something else horrible, like she's miserable in her marriage. So just know that what you see on Facebook and Instagram isn't reality. You never know. A lot of people seem like they have the perfect family, and they might be going through a divorce. This one woman might seem like she has perfect life, but honestly, her husband's never around. He's always working, and when he is around, he's golfing with his friends on the weekend. Another friend of mine, like, she's got a lovely life. They're doing great things every weekend. They're traveling. But she's like, honestly, I resent my husband. Like, when I do throw a party with friends, sometimes he's like, I have to leave at 7 p.m. to catch a flight to get dinner with somebody in another city, like for work. But you never know what the reality is. You only see the superficial good stuff. People aren't going to share frequently, oh, I had a crappy day lying on the couch watching TV because nobody wanted to go out with me. Nobody's going to share that stuff, or they do, but rarely. Just know that what you see is not reality. So don't let that like make you too jealous, because it's not that. The fifth thing is, remember that a lot of successful people have given up and sacrificed to get what they have, which, don't hate me for this piece of advice. But here's just an example. So I have this one friend, we'll say her name's Sarah. She is gorgeous. She's super outgoing. She lives in a penthouse. Like, she's a model. She's a real estate agent. You'd think she has the best world possible. But she worked her ass off to get to where she is. And I didn't know this when I first met her. Now that I know her, I know that her parents kicked her out of the house when she was 18. She went to a local community college. She couldn't pay for it, so she did beauty pageants. She was gonna be an English major and realized that they couldn't get a job that paid well. She wanted to have security, so she became a real estate agent. And then she has just been really, really good at what she does. And she also continues to model on the side. And that's how she makes so much money. Not just that, but to be a model, she actually gets her nails done like twice a month. She gets fillers. She does photo shoots every weekend to build her portfolio. She posts on Instagram a lot, and she's a really good real estate agent. So that's just an example that like sometimes people have sacrificed a lot. Another one of my guy friends lives in this beautiful house, lovely wife, like perfect life. But honestly, as a kid, he was homeless. He worked really, really hard, went to a good public university, got a consulting job, worked really hard, took out loans to go to an awesome MBA school, got a job at Deloitte, which pays really, really well, worked his ass off, worked on the weekends, did the famous, Monday morning, 6 a.m. flight, get up at 4 a.m., work all the time, have no fun to get to where he is. So just remember that this isn't always the case, but sometimes people that have been really successful have made a lot of personal sacrifices to get to where they are. Okay, the sixth thing to get over jealousy is really think about what's most important to you. Like for me personally, I'm like, do I really care about that mini SUV? No, not a lot. I just want a car that's safe to drive. And guess what? My Honda sedan is perfectly safe. Yeah, I really want the house in the nice part of town that's big, but what's really important to me is that I have a place that's clean and safe where I can sleep at night. And so I have that. So just thinking through like what's most important to you. For me also, what's most important is like my health. Am I healthy? Yes. Do I have enough money to pay for food and shelter? Yes. Do I have a loving family and friends? Yes. And a lot of people don't have those things. So just think about what's most important to you. Another example is I recently spent a ton of savings, like all of my savings, to buy a 2-bedroom condo, which I am in right now. This very, very expensive condo. But it was because I had the goal of, I don't want to be in a studio in my mid-30s. I want a 2-bedroom condo. I want a place for my mom to come and stay. And I want a place that I want to live for the next 10 years. So guess what? I'm going to take all of my savings. I'm going to sell my company stock and I'm going to put it in this expensive condo because it will be a good investment in the long term. If I have a family, I can build a family in this condo because it's bigger than a studio. So guess what? That means I can't go on the fancy vacations to Mexico like my friends. I can't go out for the $50 dinners. I can't drop $200 a week shopping at Abercrombie and Fitch because I have this mortgage to pay. But my counselor actually told me this, and I think it's a good tip. Think about what's most important to you, and are you working towards that? If you are, forget what everybody else has because you're focusing on your number one priority. So that's it. I hope these tips were helpful for you to deal with jealousy. One is use it as a motivator. So think about what you can do differently to get to what you want. 2 is be happy with what you do have. Write it down. Be grateful. 3 is kind of like be creative. Like if you want something, how can you get it in a different way? Think about what you can control. 4, remember that what you see online is not reality. 5, remember that some people that have what you want have given up a lot to get there. And 6 is just write down what's most important to you and ask yourself if you've gotten that. Leave any comments below with how you deal with jealousy. It's not an easy thing. I never used to get jealous, but I found myself being really jealous of other people recently, and these tips have personally helped me. Thanks.